Ja, hallo und herzlich willkommen zu Penthouse oder Filmfest Penthouse, der begleitenden Filmfest-Sendung hier in Oldenburg. Das internationale Filmfestival Oldenburg hat vorgestern angefangen und läuft jetzt seit 2 Tagen. Und wir schauen heute mal wieder etwas hinter die Kulissen. Ich habe mir spannende Gäste hier ins Studio eingeladen, Filmemacher, Produzenten, alle möglichen. Und jetzt bin ich hier erstmal in der großen Runde zusammen mit Torsten und Jon. Wir gucken mal, ob wir ein kurzes Gespräch hinkriegen. Ich setze mich mal hier dazwischen. Maybe kann... ja.
Sonst rutsche ich einfach auf die Prospekte.
Ja, es ist großartig. Okay. So, wir sitzen jetzt hier halbwegs zusammen. Torsten, einen Moment, wir müssen kurz warten. Torsten ist natürlich viel beschäftigt. Torsten ist Begründer und Organisator des Festivals und dadurch kann man sich vorstellen, viel unterwegs und immer im Terminstress. Aber erstmal großartig, dass du hier bist und uns beiseite stehst bei dieser Sendung. Erstmal danke dafür.
Ich bin froh, dass ihr hier seid und dass ihr so verrückte Sachen mit uns macht.
Es freut uns. Es macht total viel Freude, diese Sendung aufzuzeichnen jedes Mal. Heute das 2. Mal und leider das letzte Mal für dieses Jahr. Aber im nächsten Jahr werden wir auf jeden Fall wieder dabei sein. Noch ist es ja aber nicht vorbei. Wir haben noch 1,5 Stunden vor uns, voller Programm, Trailern, Filmausschnitten und spannenden Gesprächen. Ja, erstmal.
Darf ich mal ganz kurz was
klar
fragen? Also das ist ja sozusagen für alle, aber jetzt sind sie zu laut, oder? Ich war so nett, dass also so viel
Ich weiß es gar nicht, vielleicht können wir
wird.
eine kurze Frage an die Regie stellen. Ist es gerade zu laut, die Umgebungsgeräusche, oder geht das?
Aber hört man ja trotzdem, oder?
Also Hauptsache man hört uns und die
Versteht und es ist laut, ist ja nicht so wild, ne? Hauptsache.
Nee.
Ja.
Hauptsache man versteht
Aber
uns.
das ist ja so, wie
Sascha,
im Kino,
Werner?
manchmal muss man ja so machen, dann ist wieder ein bisschen.
Ich glaube, keiner hat mitgekriegt, dass losging halt.
Guys,
alles gut.
the show is running, just to be clear. The show is already on. We don't, as I said, we
Kurze
don't have to be
Unklarheiten,
totally
aber wir
quiet.
werden das
but
gleich geregelt haben.
Hier ist, ja, cool.
Sie sehen, es ist quasi live. Wir zeichnen das gerade auf und werden das später senden, aber im Grunde ist es live. Also, das gehört dazu. Okay, Torsten, das Festival hat vorgestern begonnen und es laufen jetzt schon seit 2 Tagen Film an Film läuft in 4 Kinos hier in Oldenburg. Wie ist
4
es denn
Kinos
bisher?
jetzt?
4 Kinos? 5 Kinos?
Mehr.
Viele Spielorte auf jeden Fall. Also wir haben auf
Also
jeden Fall...
Leinwände sind es mehr, ja.
Ja, Leinwände sowieso. Wie läuft es denn bisher, aus deiner Sicht?
Ich sammle so Rückmeldungen ein und bisher läuft es, glaube ich, super. Die Filme kommen mega gut an. Die Leute lieben das, was wir ausgewählt haben bisher. Und ich glaube, die Kinos sind auch gut besucht. Wir sammeln auch schon Besprechungen, Kritiken für Filme ein und das ist alles gerade ziemlich gut.
Ja.
Also wir fliegen so ein bisschen jetzt.
Ja,
und das ist auch
unglaublich.
wichtig, dass wir sozusagen so losfliegen und,
Das ist doch immer-
diese Stimmung so mitnehmen.
Das ist doch sicher immer wieder irgendwie ein glückliches, ein befreiendes Gefühl, vielleicht sogar ein Jahr darauf hinzuarbeiten und jetzt diese 4 Tage voller Programm, voller internationaler Gäste. Der Hollywood Reporter ist hier neben Oldenburg Eins natürlich auch. Wie fühlt sich das für dich an?
Super. Und das ist ja ungefähr das Wichtigste, was ein Filmemacher erreichen kann, ist sozusagen dieses Branchenblatt Hollywood Reporter. Wenn du da dein Review hast, dann bist du so in der Champions League. Ja. Und das ist schon ziemlich wertvoll und großartig.
Das glaube ich.
Und das ist schon eine Belohnung, dass das jetzt losgeht. Und es dürfen ja auch Dinge schief gehen.
Auf jeden Fall.
So wie wir jetzt unsere Sendung uns ausgedacht haben, wir können ja alles nachregulieren.
Das finde ich total schön. Ich finde übrigens auch der Ort hier, wir sind gerade in der Filmfestival Lounge hier im Penthouse und es ist ein wundervoller Ort für diese Sendung, möchte ich mal nebenbei anmerken. So, next to you, Jon Jacobs. Tell me, you had
I'm checking the movies right now.
Yeah. What is it? What do you read? Yeah.
Well, I was actually just checking the title of Recreation, which is one of the Irish movies.
Yeah.
Which is a courtroom, or it's a jury room movie, and it stars John Connor, who's over there, and it's a really killer movie. So I'm looking forward to hearing about that.
Ja, wir haben in diesem Jahr einen irischen Schwerpunkt, der hat sich so ein bisschen entwickelt und gestern gab es auch einen großen irischen Empfang mit der irischen Botschafterin aus Berlin. Dazu kommen wir aber später, da haben wir auch eine kleine Sequenz von gestern vorbereitet. Erstmal würde ich sagen, wir gucken etwas ins Programm rein. Wir haben nämlich einen Film heute hier bei uns, inklusive Regisseur und Schauspielerin. Wir gucken mal, einen Trailer haben wir nicht, aber wir haben einen kleinen Filmausschnitt vorbereitet. Gucken wir doch einfach mal da rein.
A lot of these vacant homes don't even have addresses anymore.
So what do I do if I need backup and I don't know where Marty Power got stabbed?
I don't know. Fifth house on the left, look for my car, the lights are on, you'll figure it out. Feds built some homes closer to town. That's where old Marty Powers is now. They promised clean running water. They're taking their time, though. Meanwhile, every passing hobo and meth head finds these empty places to hang loose for a while. Who's in there? Don't surprise me, motherfucker, or you'll get shot! Go after him!
Großartiger Filmausschnitt auf jeden Fall, sehr spannend. Macht Lust auf den Film, würde ich sagen. Den können Sie sich angucken. Wann und wo, das finden Sie online und im Kinoprogramm, in den Programmheften, die hier überall rumliegen, auch in den Kinos natürlich. Unbedingt reinschauen. Ja, jetzt haben wir aber erstmal die Filmemacher, den Regisseur Vincent und die Schauspielerin Dana haben wir hier vor Ort. Ich würde sagen, wir sprechen einfach mal mit denen. Vincent, great to have you here.
Vincent Gresham, director of the film, and Dana Nemrod, lead actress.
Yeah.
Great to have you here, guys.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure. Pleasure to be back.
So we saw a little bit of your movie, but maybe you can tell us a little bit more. What is your movie about?
It's about a tribal police officer who is training a new transfer to his department who comes from a background.
Achso, sorry.
Ja.
Klar.
Oh, yeah.
Die Mikrofone.
We have these guys.
So,
we forget
damit Sie jetzt auch hören, was hier alles geredet wird, sorry. So, maybe again.
You're welcome.
Testing works. You good?
Okay, all right. No, it's unmute.
It's on. No, it's working now.
Hören wir?
You good? Test. He's saying unmuted.
No, it's good. All right. So maybe tell us again, what's your movie?
Yeah. So Keep Quiet. It's about a tribal police officer played by Lou Diamond Phillips who he is training a new person in his department played by Donna, and she comes from a police background. But his policing is a bit different than the conventional way on this reservation. And at the same time, a notorious gang member gets out of prison and sort of starts to wreak havoc on the community, and they're not only searching for him, but she's learning how to, his tactics on how to police.
Yeah, great. So where did this idea for a movie, where did it come from?
Well, I mean, the writer Zach Montague, he lives in Canada, and he's an actual police officer out there and had experience policing on the reservations there. And I found the script on the Blacklist, which is a website where filmmakers and writers can kind of, there's a community. It's a really popular site to find screenplays for people like me, or if you're a writer, to be discovered. And sort of what happened with him. He's never written anything before, and he lives in Canada. He's still a police officer, has a family, and I reached out to him. And
what does a blacklist mean? Is it like scripts that have been getting through the studio system and were?
No, I think that's supposed to be like the metaphor, maybe, like films, scripts that are undiscovered, but it's a really popular site, and every year they sort of curate top blacklist scripts, and a lot of those end up getting made or pursued. Keep Quiet wasn't one on those lists. It was just a script I had browsed and found, and so I mean, that's how it came about. But we all responded to the authenticity of it, and it was sort of the themes that I thought were important. And,
Dana, you played a big role in this movie. Please, maybe you can tell us how do you feel about the movie and about the acting?
I think I was very fortunate that my partner in this film was Lou, and you know, when you get to work, I mean, not only Lou, the entire cast, when you get to work with such an incredible group of people who are not only so talented, but so professional and so committed and so emotionally engaged, I think it made the whole experience so much more powerful. You know, at one point, Irene, who plays Chelsea, there was a scene that's in her house, and there's kind of like this wall of people.
Yeah.
And she starts to go and starts to point at different photos, almost like happens in the actual scene. She tells, you know, she's starting to tell me, like, this is my sister and this is my brother. And I'm not even sure at one point if she's rehearsing or if she's actually talking to me.
Yeah.
And I was saying, like, what, in the movie? And she goes, no, in real life, you know. This is this is the story that hits home because it's mine. This is why it's crucial for me to do this film. So you have a bunch of actors who have this emotional engagement with the subject matter. And I think that made it so much more powerful, that made the performances so effective and strong. And I think it was a pleasure to be a part of that kind of film.
Yeah.
Were they actually her family members? She brought those photos?
Yes, she told
totally
me.
forgot about that.
It's a community. It's like it feels like it needed to create a community to get the intensity in the thing. And Lou Diamond Phillips, you know, I talked to him before, and he told me it was such an important topic, project, role for him.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously his history with the Native American community is big. He's been around it for most of his career and an activist with that. But he's not Native American himself, but he's obviously played characters that were in his past, and they're really grateful for that from him. He's been, I don't remember I think it was Lakota and the Cheyenne. He's been given names and sort of invited in those communities because of that.
Yeah.
So it was really important to him with doing this movie to really nail all that authenticity. But not only that, he brought on Marcus Red Thunder, who was our exec producer and consultant, to make sure, you know, everything we were doing was sort of in line and appropriate.
So it's a project with a lot of Native Americans involved. That was probably important, yeah. And
behind the scenes, and not only that, a lot of the cast is local as well, in that community and in the surrounding areas. We filmed it in Oklahoma and shot on the Cheyenne and Arapaho reservations, and a lot of local people.
And how is it? What happens in the United States? Do you have a distribution already attached, or?
I mean, we just brought on a sales agent before Locarno,
Yeah.
so they're entertaining all these. We've been showing distributors, and so it's my understanding we've been getting some offers, and so it's exciting. Our sales agent is pretty excited about the opportunities. So we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see.
Jon, you're part of the jury in this year.
No, not in this jury.
Not on this.
But I know you saw a lot of.
I've seen this movie.
Yeah.
This is an extremely powerful movie. It's going to resonate. It has themes, you know, that you really have to think about. You know, it has two antagonists in my mind, right? You have the both have multiple layers. I mean, how important was that to you, and how was that for you as an actor dealing with those different characters?
Wait, I wonder who is the second antagonist in your mind?
Well, Nick Stahl's character, because I straight away I felt like he was a threat. Right?
That's interesting. I don't know if I would have pegged him as an antagonist. I think in his mind he's so committed to doing the right thing, and he's a little bit, you know, he's been scratched and bruised by this community, and he sort of tenses up. I think there's even a debate: who is more effective? Is it Teddy's method of policing, or is it Darius's method?
I was afraid for the people with Nick's character. I was afraid for the families, because I knew he'd go to the ends of the earth to get what he wanted, and that was as dangerous to me as the other character. What's his name?
Richie. Played by Elisha Pratt.
And Richie, you know, I mean,
I mean, Elisha is a discovery for me. When we were casting, he was literally auditioning, came in like the character, and our casting director sitting next to me, and I'm reading opposite the actors because I like to jump in there. I don't like to have a cold reader with them. I like to for them to really feel comfortable and literally get involved. If it's physical, I'll jump up and get in there. But I'm watching Elisha, and while he's doing the scene, I lift the sides above my face, and I looked at the cast director. I was like, that's the guy.
He has a noble spirit.
Yeah.
Right? So even though he's playing somebody that's acting in a way that, doesn't ultimately serve the tribe and the people, there's a nobleness to his spirit that made it hard to fully, dislike him. And so you kind of you're questioning throughout the movie, do I identify with what he's feeling? Even though, of course, he's, but he's a warrior.
Yeah.
He's a warrior, and it's a war zone.
No, I mean, and again, people aren't just in a gang or a killer because they think it's cool, or, I mean, it comes from a very real place that they do believe in what they're doing. They do believe it's right. The same way you were saying, Nick Stahl's character believes to his inside that he's going for criminals and there should be consequences for crimes, whether that's murder or whatever it is. And so I appreciated that in the script. Everybody had that sort of grounded human reaction, and so there's almost not just antagonists, but they're all almost protagonists in their own world.
Yeah.
There's a movie with each of them where you can at least, if you told a movie about Nick Stahl's character, it would start where he's probably good and how he ended bad. And Elisha's is started, vice versa,
In fact, she's the truest protagonist.
Yeah.
I mean, because even Lou's character is wrestling with his demons throughout the entire film, and you gave him redemption in the hardest possible, or the story gave him redemption in the hardest possible way, right?
Yeah, but I think it's what makes this really interesting is that all of the characters are so flawed, and they're all dancing between this, this good and evil. They've all done things that they regret, and they've all done things that they're ashamed of, and they're all sort of processing that trauma, and that is what kind of designs their behavior, the antagonists and the protagonists, and I think that links them together. I think that makes them interesting.
Actually, now that I think about it, because
Yeah?
you come in with your ghosts in the closet, right?
Hey.
And
I have my reasons.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to talk about this movie, but I think we can say one thing. You have to see it. Yeah, go watch it. You have to see it in the cinema on the big screen. Look in the program when you can see it, or online. And yeah, right now, let's go on. We don't have a lot of time, but we have a lot of guests coming on. Now we have a very special guest known from a lot of musical productions, but also one movie. Let's dive into the trailer from Electra Glide in Blue.
Electra Glide in Blue. The story of Big John Wintergreen, a 5'4" motorcycle cop. in a 6-foot 2-inch world.
Attention! Dress, Rod. Dress!
Did you know that me and Ellen Ladd were exactly the same height?
Parade. Dress!
You! John Wintergreen, you ain't no Superman.
Good morning, pigs.
I hate that motorcycle they make me ride.
Good morning, you fascist.
Are you holding anything you shouldn't be?
No way, man. I'm totally cool, man.
You honkies!
You see, you've been back only 6 weeks, and I'm gonna do for you what it took somebody 6 months to do for me.
Yes, sir. What's that?
Nothing.
I'm going to talk to you this morning about self-control and law enforcement.
I'm gonna blow your rotten little heart out! No!
This country is undergoing a precisely formulated conspiracy of police genocide.
That's right, the officer in charge is talking to you, and he's saying that you're gonna be arrested as an accessory after the fact in a murder case! Why don't you go out there and dig up the whole world? Maybe you can find a gun. Did you know that loneliness would kill you deader than a .357 Magnum?
The story of Big John Wintergreen, a 5-foot 4-inch motorcycle cop in a 6-foot 2-inch world. Electra Glide in blue.
Yeah, I'm starting with the introduction. Look, I have this. This is yours. So in brief, and to repeat it, no, you don't have to. It's working. We are very, very happy and proud that you are here, James William Guercio, right?
Yes, that's fine.
I'm pronouncing it always wrong, right? No, but it's.
I had to use my middle name because when I made my first records, the royalty checks went to a different James Guercio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't get paid. And so I had to use my middle name at the union.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't getting my royalty check.
Guys, we need a little lower volume so that we have our chat. They're getting too excited here. Thank you. So we've been in touch for a few years. We tried to convince you to come over here, and finally now it worked out. And then it's of course, for the word retrospective is kind of tough for a filmmaker who brings one and one only film. But this is such a special film, and I'm very happy and excited that we have you here. And you were mainly a music producer, and then you went into a movie for one film. Record producer.
No, I did work on some other films.
You did work some other films. You produced an Hal Ashby film, and you produced an Hal Ashby film.
Hal Ashby.
Yeah.
I wasn't involved. I mean, it was a weird deal. He wanted to make me the producer.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
because there was a Beach Boys song, Hal made Shampoo with Warren.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Shampoo, very good film, interesting film, but
good film, yeah.
The Beach Boys, Wouldn't It Be Nice About Marriage, tied the film all together at the end, and they wouldn't give it to him, so I just did. I mean, I had to talk to him and everything, but they said, no, we don't want, and I said, no, this would work for the film. Yeah, Warren's a hell of a producer. He pestered me ad infinitum. But I liked the film. And it's, I like Julie Christie too. So I got to meet Julie. Very interesting girl, good actress, very pretty.
Yeah. So how did the connection start? How did you end up directing this film? How did it all bring?
Well,
from
because of the music,
to
because of the success in music.
Yeah.
David said, "Would you?" And I wanted to use music to get the film, but yeah, you probably know. Okay, so my grandfather, my father's father, was a projectionist, and his brothers were projectionists.
In movie theaters.
And it had a very powerful union. And so when my father came back from the war, he was an electrician's mate in the Navy, and he flew a blimp, lighter than air. And so he got a job at Motorola, which was an upcoming communications company. But on the weekends, he was a projectionist for a part-time job. And I'm like 10 or 12 years old.
So you went to the movies?
I went to the movie. This tells you I'm too old here, because it was a very bad part of town, and adults was 25 cents, and children were 10. And it had air conditioning, so a lot of people would come. It was the Royal Theater in Logan Park, Chicago. And the balcony was condemned because it was not safe. But the guy liked me, and I cleaned off 2 seats, and then I'd have to rewind all the reels. And then I'll never forget when we got a machine that would rewind. But so I've seen movies. And the old man that ran the theater always had a suit and tie, 1920s suit, 1930s suit, and they were triple features that he changed 3 times a week.
And of course,
he did Humphrey Bogart retrospectives before the art houses did them, and he was a student of film too. He was an older gentleman. So anyway, I got to see a lot of movies.
And now, of course, the first question must be, what were the movies that were like staying in your memory? And was John Ford among them?
Of course,
of course.
Hawks and Ford, and I never met Orson. I wanted to meet Orson Welles. I never met, but
you saw his films.
When I made this film, I had to get 2 sponsors, and one of them was John Huston, and the other was Richard Brooks. So that was a great experience. With John Huston, I had to play poker and lose money.
An investment. Was that investment?
I want the audience.
And with Brooks, he was a friend of Robert's, and Conrad, because Conrad shot The Professionals.
Just in case. Yeah.
Go ahead, Vince.
Oh yeah, Conrad. No, it's just if we have a little chat, we have a microphone for it. No, you keep this. You don't give this away.
Okay.
So this is John Huston was involved in which way?
And well, he gave me some advice, but mostly Richard did. Richard was quite a bit younger. John wasn't well, and I knew his daughter too.
Angelica.
Yeah, I knew Jack. I knew Jack too.
And then another very important part of making this electric light was Conrad Hall, of course.
Of course, yeah. And as I told you last night, Conrad had run off with Catherine Ross. He had a wife and everything.
Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid?
Yeah, he fell in love with Catherine. You know, cameramen do that.
DP's
I said, what happened? He said, I looked through the lens, that was it. But I like Connie, and I like Catherine, and they came to my office, which is all music, crazy music people all the time. And I said, I'll pay you to find me the next Connie Hall. You know, because he was a big cinematographer, big budget, big films.
But he did not win the Oscar yet, or did he already win the Oscar?
Butch Cassidy.
Butch Cassidy was an Oscar winning? So
I think, maybe he was nominated. He won for the... Before Road to Perdition, who directed that?
Sam Mendes.
So what's the film he won before that? With
American
Kevin
Beauty?
Spacey.
American Beauty.
American Beauty, he won the award.
Okay, got it.
I think I don't know about Butch Cassidy, but I saw Butch Cassidy.
But he was one of the big DPs, and you kind
big
of...
DP. And he had a commercial company with Haskell and Gordon Willis, and they just did the commercials. They were fantastic. But that was their main source of income, except for a couple movies a year. So I wanted Jordan Cronenworth because he had trained Jordan, but Jordan did the Blade Runner, and his son is working too. Anyway, he wasn't available, and at the last minute, Connie said, you know, I'd kind of like to do this with you. After we had interviewed Bill Fraker, Haskell, a lot of cameramen, there was a young cameraman, God, a whole bunch of young guys. Tommy Del Ruth was my pulled focus. There was the operator, very important. The operator was Tommy Cloakridge, who had just finished True Grit with Lucian Ballard, John Wayne, Hal Wallace, and who's the director? They were all in their 70s or 80s.
Henry Hathaway, right?
No,
was it Henry?
They did a remake.
Was it Henry Hathaway?
I don't know, actually.
Anyway, the first True Grit.
Yeah.
And it just knocked the hell out of me because I said, wait a minute. They shot pretty much in continuity. Tommy told me this, and he was my operator. And he said, you couldn't believe it. These old pros, Lucian, Hal Wallace, and it may have been Henry, whoever directed, they were all in their 70s or 80s.
Wow.
And Tommy said, you wouldn't believe it. He said, the last week of shooting, they showed up, and the whole film was put together. And
they were assembling while
they needed 2 or 3. They knew the whole thing was finished, and they needed a couple inserts.
Wow.
That was it.
Back then.
And they shot that in Colorado, mostly Ridgeway, Colorado. But yeah, I put a ranch together there for Ralph Lauren. Ralph owns, when the scene in the Aspen Grove when he shoots all the guys.
In which movie?
What do you say? Fill your fist. He puts the reins in his mouth and he charges. Anyway, that's on Ralph Lauren's ranch.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're drifting away from Electra Guide.
A little bit.
A little bit. But the thing is,
But anyway, we had a great relationship. Yeah. And the concept was, for me, Conrad, because he was very avant-garde cameraman, I said, outside, we have to be John Ford. Mm-hmm. Anything out exterior, you got to give me full saturation, crisp contrast, and show me the country. Inside, knock yourself out. That's what and that's how we did it, really.
And
if
you
see
brought the film to the Monument Valleys. It was not planned.
Yeah, I
to
did
be
the last week there. I did the ending. I wanted to have the ending there. Yeah, it was dramatic. I had been there, and it's a very emotional place because in Canyon du Chelly was a huge defeat. Canyon du Chelly, when I was there, white were not allowed into that canyon because there was Kit Carson had killed a lot of Navajos in Canyon du Chelly. It's a sacred place, yeah. And no, whites were not allowed in that canyon. I think they might be now. But anyway, it's interesting. It's in four corners: Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, Colorado.
I have a question. Just you had this film that's very obviously leaves an impression. What? And you never made another one after that.
I did do a couple films.
Directed? Oh,
no, directing is what ended my career. Was Tom Horn with Steve McQueen was my film.
That was your film?
Yeah.
I've seen it.
I shot about half of it. I rewrote the script. Steve had spent all the money. Steve had gone through a huge budget. He had like 5 or 6 directors, a pile of scripts.
That was his last film, right? McLean?
No, he did one more after that with Peter Hyams wrote it, I think.
Yeah, was that the very heavy dialogue one?
He was a bail bondsman or something.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it.
Me as well, but he was playing this.
It was his last. That was his last film. This was really his last film.
Yeah.
Because that film was just.
It was a very heavily dialogue movie. It was like a play, right?
Yeah, Peter Hyams. I thought he was going to direct it because he talked to me quite a bit. But Steve was having a tough time, and I should have realized he was terminally ill. I didn't.
Yeah. That was Tom Horner was like the year he died, right? It was 1980?
No, he died the next year, I think.
Okay.
I'm not. He was 50 years old.
Yeah.
And he had just. I moved in his house, and we got along. I thought we got along great. I rewrote the script. I didn't take any credit, and we had a disagreement at the end. I had written an opening and a beginning. Tom Horn is buried in Boulder, Colorado. Tom Horn worked on my ranch in the 1800s. Tom Horn's brother and family was in Boulder, and he's buried in Boulder. So that's how I ran into Steve. My wife was a model, and Barbara Minty was a very beautiful model that was with Steve.
That was his third wife.
Yeah.
She was, I think, 23 at the time, or
she knew my wife.
Yeah.
And that's how I met Steve, through Barbara.
Wow. I have a million questions about that.
No, it's
Steve McQueen.
I don't want to say, you don't want to say bad things. He was a very interesting guy.
Oh, I'm fascinated by him.
Yeah, the camera loved him. And the first big, he had a beard. He had a full beard, and you couldn't see the lines. You know, he was covering up cancer, I think.
Yeah.
And I made him shave, and he was really pissed off about that. But I dressed him, I shaped the hat and everything. No, I think that could have been, I still like to make that movie, because I'd still like to make it, because the beginning and the end, see, he ran out of money, and I said I'd put up the money for that. It was about $1.1 million, $1.2 million, something like that.
Yeah, I have the DVD somewhere. I was a big McQueen fan, so.
Yeah.
Jim,
I cast everybody. I pretty much cast everybody and built the set, built the town, all that.
I bring you back to Electric Light now.
Yes, please.
This is just a landmark of cinema now. Back in the days,
well, it's kind of held up. It's a kind of a cult film.
It works well. It's a cult film.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
It was difficult. You were playing in Cannes in the festival, and then the thing.
It wasn't received well. I got terrible reviews
because they were expecting.
It was too pro-police. The Italians called me a fascist. And it was too pro-police.
If you watch this film nowadays, you're like, why did they come up with this idea? It is such a...
No, but that's how they viewed it.
That
surprised me quite a bit.
I think this is, we all know it's now like a monument of American cinema.
No, I appreciate that, but it's...
So, I think,
my
again,
gosh,
I have to say...
It was 50 years ago.
Yeah.
I have to say, go to the cinema and watch it. An die Zuschauer vor allem, geht ins Kino, guckt euch den Film auf der großen Leinwand an. Wirklich eine großartige Gelegenheit, den hier sehen zu können. Ja, und ich würde sagen, wir gehen weiter. Jetzt, wo wir einen der größten Musikproduzenten hier bei uns in Oldenburg haben, spielen wir doch einfach mal ein bisschen Musik, oder? Wir haben
Jim, thank you so much, and
thank you for. I love your Oldenburg's great. The people are great. Country's great.
Wonderful.
Appreciate being here.
Now we have a guest here. He's a musician from Oldenburg, and you should check him out.
Ingo Diaz. Den übergeben an dich.
Ingo Diaz is his name. Ingo.
Hi, Ingo.
Yeah, hi. My English is not so good, so I speak in German, so maybe Torsten can translate it.
I can whisper in your ear.
Ich möchte auf La Palma sein und in der Sonne liegen, ein gutes Buch lesen und einen Sonnenbrand kriegen. Dann werde ich eingerieben mit Buttermilch und Quark. Auch da, wo ich keinen Sonnenbrand hab, das find ich echt stark.
Danke.
Doch ich bin in Oldenburg und es ist kalt. Guck doch mal raus, es schneit. Nun schon seit Wochen habe ich gebrochen und es wird nicht besser, hat der Wetterbericht versprochen. Ja, ich will raus, einfach nur weg, weil ich in meinen Sorgen versteck. Gib mir ein Boot oder ein Floß, ist mir egal, ob klein oder groß. Ich mach die Augen zu und lass mich treiben bis nach Kapstadt. Ich bin ein braun gebrannter Fischer, weil ich Stress zu Hause satt hab. Ich brauch nicht einzukaufen, Fisch ist so gesund. Ich genieße das Leben, leb von der Hand in den Mund. Doch ich bin in Oldenburg und es regnet. Ist nicht das Wetter, wo man sich so gern begegnet. Will einfach nur weg aus meinem Versteck in die weite Welt, auch ohne Geld. Aus meinem Traum erwachen und alle Sachen machen, die ich immer wollte und vielleicht auch sollte. Das Leben ist so kurz, nur ein kurzer Furz. Darum geh ans Meer, da riecht man's nicht so sehr. Vielleicht auch über den Atlantik in die Karibik. Alle Frauen wollen mich, ich bin so ergiebig. Sie tanzen im Bananenkleid, einen Fruchtbarkeitstanz. Sie wollen mich nicht heiraten, sondern einfach nur mein. Doch ich bin in Oldenburg und es hagelt. Ist nicht das Wetter, wo man hemmungslos nagelt. Am Strand oder am See, seiner Mann hat einen Tee. Die Menschen zugeschnürt, man wird nicht so oft verführt. In Brasilien ist das anders, die haben keine Lilo woanders. Und auch keine Glotze mit der Muskotze. Die haben heißen Sex am Strand. Ich bin in meiner Butze, die machen sich dreckig, während ich hier putze. Ich will nicht nur Graben poolen, ich will Rochen sehen, will nicht im Graben suhlen und die Wochen gehen einfach so rum. Ich mach mich für andere krumm und bleib dabei stumm und frag mich nicht einmal warum. Für wen ich sowas mach, warum denk ich nicht an mich? Doch jetzt werd ich wach und feier königlich, genieße den Moment und das Koffer packen. Mir scheint die Sonne aus dem Arsch, also geh ich erstmal kacken. Dankeschön.
I have to be allowed to do a little mini translation. It's a hymn to Oldenburg. But the hymn is saying he's dreaming the whole time of being somewhere else, because in Oldenburg it's raining, snowing,
hageling.
And you know, every city has its song, and Oldenburg has Ingo.
Ja, Ingo, also du warst in unserer Testsendung ja schon dabei und ich würde sagen, es hatte einen guten Grund, dass du wiedergekommen bist. Und wir freuen uns auf jeden Fall später noch was von dir zu hören.
Genau, es ist nicht nur Dekoration, ich darf noch 2 Stücke später machen.
Ich hoffe doch.
Jetzt laut!
Jawohl. Torsten, wir haben noch ein Thema vorbereitet. In diesem Jahr haben wir einen kleinen Schwerpunkt. Draußen hängt die Irland-Flagge.
Ja.
Und wir haben 3 große irische Filme dieses Jahr dabei. Da muss ich einmal hier in meine Notizen gucken. Die Namen habe ich mir natürlich aufgeschrieben. Die Namen sind Horseshoe, Crazy Love und Recreation. Wie kam es denn dazu, dass wir so viele Iren in diesem Jahr dabei haben?
Das passiert einfach, weil wir sind ja ein Festival, was sozusagen nicht irgendwelche Themenvorgaben hat, Fördermittel, die irgendwie was verlangen, sondern wir suchen gute Filme.
Ja.
The only reason why we have so many Irish films in the program is not that we were trying to put together an Irish spotlight. It happened because we are searching the best films, and there were all of a sudden 3 Irish films.
Yeah.
And then there was a realization that this is like a little look on Irish cinema in these times, and other people would realize there is a new wave of Irish cinema, and it's here we have a great little focus on it.
Yeah.
And there are some Irish guests somewhere.
Yeah, we will come to.
We have to find the right place.
Wait, we will come to them later. Kurz zurück auf Deutsch. Du hast eben von einer irischen
neuen Welle.
Die irische Welle geredet. Die Welle ist so hoch geschwappt hier in Oldenburg, dass sich die Screen Ireland und sogar die irische Botschaft in Berlin mit Maeve Collins eingeschaltet hat. Und ja, wie kam es denn dazu?
Ja, das ist tatsächlich so, dass das irische Kino gerade so irgendwo sich hinbewegt, und es ist auch ein Independent-Kino. Und wie gesagt, wir haben diese Filme nicht bewusst so zusammengestellt. Ja. Die Filmemacher selber haben teilweise auch sich bemüht, in dieser Konstellation Screen Ireland dazu zu gewinnen, das zu supporten. Dann war die Botschaft involviert, und dann ist es tatsächlich so weit gegangen, dass anscheinend eine Erkenntnis auch da ist, dass die Präsentation hier auf diesem Festival, was nämlich ein ganz gutes Festival ist,
auf jeden Fall.
Was bedeutet, und zwar so viel, dass die irische Botschafterin dann gesagt hat, ich komme hierher und begleite das, was natürlich richtig cool ist.
Ja,
also für
großartig.
uns und die Filme.
Das ist natürlich großartig, mehr kann man dazu gar nicht sagen.
Ja.
Und gestern gab es einen großen irischen Empfang im Oldenburger Schloss. Ja. Ich würde sagen, wir gucken da doch einfach mal rein. Wir haben was Kleines vorbereitet, gucken wir uns das super an. Das sah doch nach einem großartigen Empfang hier in Oldenburg aus, in dem Oldenburger Schloss mit der irischen Botschafterin Maeve Collins und vielen Gästen. Und viele von den irischen Gästen sind auch heute hier. Welcome
wir müssen
to
uns jetzt so
Oldenburg.
organisieren. Who is sitting in the interview situation? This man, this man, this man. How do we?
I don't know. Should we sit down or we can?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we can sneak in here. What do you think?
Yeah.
I want to sit here on this here. Here's another seat available. Yeah. Come on.
We'll get in there, man. Okay.
It's anyway nice against the backdrop.
You take that.
Ich darf hier nicht, ich muss immer rausgehen. Ich muss immer an die Tür gehen. Sehr schön, gute Bilder werden das, ne?
Squeeze her in between you if that's not impolite.
So.
It's just such a perfect face. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm cancelled already. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't even begun.
No, to get cancelled?
Soon I will be cancelled. Once I've started.
Do you want to have microphones? Should the audience hear you? Okay,
they're stage actors.
My brothers call me Boom Boom.
Yeah, you can talk so loud that the audience outside behind the TV can hear you. Right.
Kannst du mir einen Rotwein bringen? Ach, das wäre richtig cool.
Do you want to take
More of these. Some more drinks.
Yeah, more. And then I think there needs to be a whole bunch of empty glasses on the trunk.
Yeah. It's in the trunk. It is.
Yeah, or at least empty bottles.
It is Irish being interviewed.
I don't like playing up to our stereotype.
You don't like playing up to our stereotype? I'm leaning right in. You created the stereotype.
Okay, so wir hören schon, es wird schon eine lustige Runde. I would say let's dive into it. You're from Ireland. Welcome in Oldenburg. How is it till yet for you? How is the festival going for you?
For me, it's my first time here, and it's been spectacular. Absolutely amazing. The people are fantastic. The festival itself is so cool. It's really open to artists and involves lots of communication with us. It's just really, really easy. It's been fantastic.
Yeah.
What about you, man?
Listen, I love this place. In 2022, I was here with the Blackwell for a film I directed that won Best Film and Best Actor, and I said in the speech that if Oldenburg was a woman, I would marry her. And then we're back here with my fiance, and our nickname is Oldenburg. So that tell you how much I love this festival. I love this man there next to me. You know, I just love the fact that it's about meritocracy in a time where meritocracy doesn't exist in the arts. You know, so
I met your fiance, and I called her Oldenburg.
Is she jealous of your relationship with the real?
Oh, she's very, very concerned, especially with the love that I still have for the lovely award they get me. You know, I'm always looking at the award. It's a great moment in time.
Speak the award more often.
So yeah.
Yeah, great.
I have my.
And there's everyone.
So now we have to sort out the single films and talk about the films.
What do we want about?
So do you want me to just go ahead because I know the three films?
Great.
Okay, so there's three films in the festival, Irish films. One is Crazy Love. That's a film that I produced. I'll be starring with it in as well. Horseshoe by the lads here. I played a little cameo in, and I was delighted to by my old friend Edwin and Adam, obviously over here. This handsome bastard. And then Recreation by David Merriman and Jim Sheridan about the murder of Sophie Descon-de-Plantier. Now with Crazy Love, that's a film that I developed, and it's about a bipolar patient named Clayton who falls in love with a schizophrenic patient named Anna. And for me it was a very important film to make because my father died by suicide when I was 8, and I come from a community of Irish travellers in Ireland that has the highest suicide rate in the world per capita of any people. 11% of us die by suicide, and that's not actually even the figure, it's more close to 20. So it's an important subject matter for me. But I wanted to do it with a way that there's a bit of levity to it as well, and a bit of style and a bit of colour and hope, because we have to give people hope. You know, we're living in a time now where there's not a lot of hope, and people feed into anger and hatred so much. And for me, this film was very important to just simplify things and what's actually important. important. Love is the most important thing, you know. And unfortunately, with people with mental illnesses, they're told that they can't love, or that their love is not legitimate, you know. And at the heart of the film, actually, that's what it's about.
Okay, great.
And that's going to be a world premiere,
World premiere, which we're honoured. And honestly, Oldenburg is the perfect festival. Again, they saw the worth in the film, and they saw the originality in it too, you know, and how it was approached, you know, and we're honoured to be here again. Like I honestly feel like this is my favourite festival in the world. Like you know, it really is. But I feel like this is the perfect place for Crazy Love, and I think audiences are going to like it because they're so open, you know. So
imagine if you would have to call your girlfriend Tribeca or something.
That'd be horrible. That'd be horrible. It would be a nightmare. Actually, I was in Tribeca in June and it was fucking shit. So yeah, that's not happening. Maybe I call my dog Tribeca or something. I'm probably gonna live to regret that one.
Is this
There you go.
Yeah, so one of the other films is Horseshoe, as John was saying. So that is about four estranged adult siblings that are squabbling over a will. But it's actually similar to what John was saying. With like, there's some dark subject matter in it, but it's darkly humorous, and it does try to find the light in these dark subjects. Because as John's saying, there's a lot of grim stuff going on at the moment. So you want to find those little sweet spots where people learn to heal and learn to rebond and refine themselves even in troubled times. So that was the real core for us in making Horseshoe, which we did on no money, rubbing pennies together, begging favors off people. So then to find a champion like Oldenburg is so humongously important for us. And I came off the plane and I was like, I'm gonna have to like clamber on a bus or start hitchhiking on the road, and this big Merc pulled up and I'm like, what, for me? Are you serious?
That was the budget right there.
So it's been an absolute treat to be here so far. So it's been amazing.
Yeah, great.
Guys, I have a question for all of you, because
we have a third slide if you need it.
In the German part, we were talking about how the Screen Ireland is supportive, the embassy is supporting, but in the making, it was not so easy, right?
Yeah. No, Crazy Love was like ultra low budget, micro budget movie. That was just private investors, you know, and a real struggle to get made.
Is it like a change that they now realize that Irish indie cinema has to be supported and brought forward, or is it?
I wouldn't give them all the credit for that. It's an energy, so there's no coincidence that we're here in Oldenburg, because I mean our film owes its existence to this festival. I was here 3 years ago and I saw all these films, met these filmmakers, and they were making features. Like, how do you do that? Beforehand, I thought we needed this qualification, this permission by the funder to do that. And then I came to this festival, see all these people from around the world are doing it somehow. Don't know how they're doing it. So when we came back, the whole goal was, how do we do that? How do we not ask for permission and make something? So I think there is a wave, certainly, that's been helped by Screen Ireland, and they're nurturing stuff, but I think the credit is in the talent and the Irish people
to recognize it, or just pretend to recognize it, because the funding is still not open doors completely, right? But it's always difficult.
Yeah, like I think in Ireland we're very good at placing the artist centre and the importance they are to our communities and our country, but yeah, they could do a little bit more, but Screen Ireland are definitely, they're behind this green wave, they're saying, you know. So let's hope that the bodies there recognise and back the artists a little bit more, because I'm very proud. I think Irish artists and filmmakers and writers and actors are among the best in the world, and that wasn't always recognised that way. So it's a huge honour to be here and to have this international platform for that.
You know, I was doing an interview with a German magazine, and they would an industry magazine, and they were asking about how I see independent cinema is developing and the support of it, and then I used you guys as an example, and I said, well, the Irish indie cinema seem to realize how to support their indie voices faster than the rest of Europe sometimes. maybe it's I was just praising the Irish but it is true. Every country is struggling with this. In Germany, in the rest of Europe, everything that is depending on a funding system is struggling to offer the voices from the margins to join in.
For me, I think, I don't know, but it seems that there's a lot of funding opportunities for foreign investors or for foreign productions in Ireland and lots of tax breaks. But that has then allowed the Irish crews and Irish actors to raise their game because they're getting more experience on an international level. And I think it means that the Irish crews and Irish actors are really learning how to produce quality work now. And so that's raising the level for everybody. And I think that that's maybe what Screen Ireland are starting to recognise, that there's a new wave of filmmakers who have cut their teeth on international productions and have learned a little bit more about how that stuff works, and so it's raised the level for all of us. I think it's a good point. Yeah.
You know, I also think there's another element as well where, like, us Irish, we're really good at being the underdogs, you know? Yeah. And when we're up against it, we love a fight, you know? I mean, we've been fighting for 800 years. Not to go too deep.
Some of us for longer.
At a trad session at 4 a.m, singing up the rap. But no, seriously, we're good at being the underdogs, and I think we love rolling our sleeves up. And if the odds are against us, we're going to give it socks. And if you look at the lads' film Horseshoe, I was only there for a day or two, but there's that feeling everybody's coming together on a mission, and they know it's an impossible mission, and they have no right to be doing it because of the budget, because of their limitations and the restrictions, yet he did it. Same with Crazy Love, you know, we had the same feeling. So we're really good at taking up a fight, and I think that's a part of the Irish psyche, you know.
You are the guy who taught me the liver punch.
So you know, I've told people this story, right? So I'm there with the festival head Torsten, right, at 6 o'clock in the morning, showing him how to do the Mike Tyson liver punch, while the Slovenian guy is showing him how to do a jiu-jitsu move, and we have him nearly killed in the room while we're drinking whiskey, having the greatest time.
Bits of Torsten everywhere.
Torsten everywhere. But I showed him finally how to do it. I think he's punching people all around Oldenburg all the time.
I know to knock people out.
Yeah, it was an honour to have the ambassador here yesterday, and I think like that that's a marked change that she was able to come down, and now people are starting to get behind. They recognise how important it is for all aspects of Ireland that culture really puts out a good message. It shows our values as a country, you know, and that's even from a tourism point of view, from a trade thing. I think they recognise that cinema is a very powerful tool to connect with people all over the world. You know, and listening to her yesterday, we were honoured that we can't believe. Imagine we made an independent film and we had the ambassador of Ireland, or the ambassador. You know, it's amazing. You know, so I think things are. The positive is that it's beginning to be recognised in that way. You know,
and you have a cool ambassador there, I have to say.
Very cool.
She's really cool.
Really, really nice person. Yeah. She was lovely to meet. Yeah, I have to say.
Yeah. Very big support for us as a festival as well.
Well deserved, because I have to say, just Ed has been talking about this as a festival for the last 3 years, and John has told me about it, and I'd met you previously, and you had told us all about it. And it's rare that you hear so many positive stories about something and then not be disappointed by the reality of it. And this has exceeded all expectations. It's been so
We will
lovely.
not talk about all the things that go wrong here.
Well, I haven't seen any of the things go wrong yet. So
flawed beauty.
Do you know what's
There's no beauty without flaws.
What's quite unique in this, and I've never told you this, Torsten. So I was here 3 years ago with Cleaner, the short that I directed and Adam edited, and obviously the festival itself is 5 days, but really what happens here, because of the way you make the guests, you know, everybody's equal and the way we mix, I made these friendships with other filmmakers that we never stopped the conversation. These people that I met, and over the last 3 years we've been talking, texting, ringing, we've been inspiring each other, you know, so it goes on longer than the 5 days. And all of those conversations and all their films and all like the times we meet, that feeds into your art. It's like going to the well. And I can't really even explain it to you valuable that is. It's career changing.
I agree. There's something special happening here, because I went to these other festivals where everything is so disconnected and fragmented, and people are just moving in numbers, and there's no love for cinema, and the other filmmakers are just going for want. How do I get there? Here, people are enjoying themselves, coming together, getting creative, supporting each other, and feeling actually that they're wanted and that their work is recognised and appreciated. Independent filmmakers, they get ignored so much in cinema. So that's what I'm going. There's something happening here we don't quite know. There's something special, something in the air, you know.
And the after parties, everybody is so connected, and there's no division. There's no separate area. It's really egalitarian, as you say, and it's very easy to approach everybody at this festival. It makes it, because of the setup, because of the atmosphere, it makes it everybody is very approachable. It's fantastic.
It's a strange thing though when you go to other festivals and there's this competition and it's driven by.
Guys, we want to talk about your films. We lose track here.
Sorry. What are the films again? Films.
We can't spell films right now.
F-I-L-L-U-M.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Film.
I love to hear that. I could spend an hour.
I waited a long time.
I know.
Tell me more. Stop it. Don't stop it.
Blow smoke at my ass.
Look, I'm excited for this is obviously our international premiere for Horseshoe. It's really exciting to see how a German audience, an international audience, is going to react. Like obviously it's quite specific. The film is made in the west of Ireland. We call it the Wild West. It was shot all within 5 minutes of where I live, my house, and even the characters in the story are very much the west of Ireland. So it's really exciting to see. Sometimes people try to be too global, where we've been very specific in the characters and the humour, to see how that lands, to see if there's something universal in us being truthful in that way. We're really lucky to have amazing actors in our film as well, so I'm excited for the German audience to get to see these actors play against each other. Many of the actors in our film we've worked with multiple times, so it was a real privilege to get them on screen for us, like John, Jed, Lawler, Roddy, who sadly couldn't travel over, but like he's one of the finest actors in Ireland we managed to have in our film. So I mean, if anything, what a great advertisement for the amazing acting talent in Ireland, to be able to put them on a platform here. So I'm thrilled. I can't wait for people to see these performances.
Well, crazy love saying it, because it's a world premiere. There's, you know, it's an extra bag of nerves because, you know, only the cast and crew has seen it. We all think it's great, but who knows? But you know, what was very encouraging last night when it was at the Horseshoe premiere, the international premiere last night, how people reacted so well to it, and they found the humour. You know, I think Northern Germans specifically and the Irish would have a lot in common culturally and our sense of humour, you know. And I was like, oh, that's great, because I think it'll probably translate too like that with Crazy Love, because I think we're dealing with universal themes, you know, of love and mental struggle and this sort of a spiritual battle, you know. And just on recreation, because David is not here. Obviously, David Merriman and Jim Sheridan wrote and directed that. It's about the murder of Sophie Toscan de Plantier, a murder that's sort of, you know, been a shadow over Ireland for the last 25 or 6 years. A film that, you know, I was on a film set doing this like really shit American production, where on set I committed to quitting acting. I committed to quitting. I said I have to quit. If this is the film that I have to do for to keep going in life, I'm gone. And I committed. And now, in fairness, I was in a very impulsive era in my life, you know. And I am in your 20s to now. I am an impulsive bastard anyway, but I was convinced I was quitting, you know. And my mother had just passed away, you know, 2 months before this. And I got a phone call from Jim Sheridan, and Jim is my fucking hero, you know. Jim Sheridan is my hero. It was a bucket list to work with Jim, and I worked with him on his previous film, Secret Scripture. But he rang me about this film, and he was like apparently trying to get through to me for weeks. And he was like talking to me about this film, but it sounded like a documentary, you know. It's like a reenactment thing, and I was like, sure, look, this would be great to like sign out just doing a Jim film again. Sure, whatever it may be, a bit of time in Luxembourg sounds fun, you know. And I realised then that Jim was trying to convince me to do the film. And I go, Jim, are you trying to fucking convince me to do the film? You're Jim Sheridan. And he was like, yeah, no, I think it's going to be great. I said, I'm fucking doing it. Do you want me to walk off set right now in this film? I don't give a shit. I'll go straight into rehearsal tomorrow. He said, no, come to Luxembourg. So I got a 39-page script a few days later, and I was like, it's a 39-page script, what are we going to do here? And I went and met him, and I said, Jim's sort of POV is that he thinks that Ian Bailey is not guilty. So I met Jim after watching some of the documentaries, and I ignorantly said, Jim, bad news for you, but he's fucking guilty of sin, you know? And he started laughing, yeah, that's the way I wanted to think. And he said there was a packet sent here, research packets. And I said, is this going to make him look innocent? Yeah, I said, I'm not doing research then. And that's the way I went in, just shooting from the hip, instinctual. And we had an amazing time in Luxembourg, you know. And I think it's a really special film, and I think it's about justice. It's very interesting that Jim makes these films about justice, and he made the film about Jerry Conlon and about the Irish who were wrongly convicted, and now he's making a film about, from his perspective, an Englishman who was wrongly convicted by the court of public opinion, you know. So I just think it's an interesting twist, and for whatever reason, him and Jim is obsessed with that justice, and then David Merriman, the co-director, co-writer, and because he's opposite a 6-time Oscar nominee, he's not getting a lot of credit, but he was amazing in that. The work that he put in, and his writing is incredible, and the effort that he put in the edit, and he was so relentless. So I'm delighted to see that here as well, and see what the reaction will be.
You shot your own film in Luxembourg, right?
A little bit.
Luxembourg. We did 7 days in Luxembourg and 4 days in Ireland. Yeah, and that's it.
So
Vicky Krebs is in it. She's amazing. She's amazing, and
it's so interesting to listen to you. But I'm the host, and in this moment, it's being the timekeeper a little bit.
Okay.
But I
gotta go and eat food, so that suits me.
Yeah, I wanted to say, do you have an idea what the people should make this evening or tomorrow? What should they make? Should they go?
What should they see?
No, what should they do?
The last thing I just want to say, because we're live on TV and I feel a responsibility as Irish artists here, and we're talking about free speech, is free Palestine. And the genocide.
We're not opening this up. We want to talk about movies.
I think it's very important that we talk about free speech and how privileged we are to be at a cinema festival and what's happening in the world. And I know there's been shut down of free speech and Irish artists in venues and different art exhibitions in Germany, and I hope that here that things are going to change. People are going to recognise that it's a genocide going on, and Israel is responsible for a genocide.
This will be cut out, you know that.
Yes, sir.
All right, so
well done.
What I wanted,
but it was a good try.
Well, that's very disappointing if it is.
No, guys, it's clear. I was prepared to this. I was talking actually to my main sponsor today, because the TV station was calling them because one of our guests was having a free Palestine scarf at the red carpet, and then the TV station was calling my sponsor and saying, here we saw this picture, and what do you say about it? And then my main sponsor said, yeah, we are against anti-Semitism, and there are two coins to the medal. That's my thing, and we are talking about films.
Can we get one more minute on the films before we go?
Yeah, all right.
Okay, I mean, you can cut it. But okay, you covered all the movies, right? But we got John Connors here, and ultimately the Black Guelph, and winning the Seymour Cassell Award, and that was his first film, and
the Seymour Cassell was Graham Murley.
Yeah. Graham Murley won the Seymour Cassell. We won Best Film. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, okay, but I didn't know that because it was such a knockout. Such a knockout performance. But here's the thing about in these movies, and we got audiences coming in. You got Crazy Love, which is such an important kind of a love story, because none of us are normal, right? And that's why that film's important, because we have to understand that love actually is a healing thing, and that film tells that story. But both that story and the other film, Recreation, both deal with the transformation of a character from beginning to end, going in in Crazy Love, where he's ready to fucking die, he wants to die, and throughout the process of this movie, there's a transformation, and critically in Recreation, it's the same thing. And these are real powerhouse performances, and not just perform. It's not like you can perform it; you have to live it, right? So, just what is that? How do you feel about the fact that you actually lived a couple of roles in these movies where you transformed?
Well, Crazy Love, I'll be honest with you, man. I went into that with no preparation, and I spent the days shooting the film and the nights looking after my mother who was dying of cancer. And every day I took a panic attack on set, and I was barely learning my lines. So, and I was already confronted with the demons of my past, my father, who died by suicide, and in a way I was playing him. So I was in so much disarray that's what fed into it, but that's just the truth. There was no even thinking I'm in the moment. Every time I was thinking, that was so shit, and they were kind of, it's great, and I'm going, no, this is shit. But my mental health was so poor, and I was like literally trying to keep my mother alive. So I didn't have much time to think. And then Recreation, funny enough, was 2 months after her death, where I was just like, I'm fucking pissed off at acting, I'm drinking so much, I'm fucking doing crazy stuff, and I just went, I said, this is a nice way to sign off my acting career, at least work with Jim again. And then I got to know David Merriman, who was a very good friend of mine, and I said, I'll just have fun. And I actually felt with Recreation I had nothing to lose, which freed me up so much, and then we did a lot of improv, and I love improv. So really, it was really just, going on instinct. There wasn't a lot of thinking about anything, really. It all came out. My life was the preparation for both of those roles, rather than any, bios or, this academic study of a character. I don't do that anyway, because I'm not a heady person. I'm heart. I all go with the heart, so.
Did you transform in actually through these characters? Did they bring about?
Well, let me tell you this, John. Yeah. So on Crazy Love, yeah. So I'm a producer on Crazy Love. Day 3, we ran out of money. Okay. So John has to go and meet an investor who's a big fan of him to get money, so we can keep going. And John went with the investor and got drunk till 6 o'clock in the morning, got 50 grand on him to keep the next day going, keep the lights on, and then I got to get back on set and I'm still drunk. So that'll tell you what was going on with John. I honestly couldn't tell you anything intellectual about him, But transforming, I think I definitely got a healing thing. I got catharsis, which is what brought me into acting anyway. I found catharsis for sure, And Jay Jordan, just to say, who played Anna, was amazing, and her grandmother, who was like her mother as well, died during it as well. So there was this osmosis, this sort of thing that was connected both of us. We were both going through extreme grief, and that just bled into the film,
And the same thing with Recreation.
Same.
I have to interrupt you. The time is running. What I wanted to say is...
and I'll pay you for that later, by the way. 500 bucks.
What I wanted you to say, go to the cinema. Which movies should they watch? What do you think?
All the Irish films.
Definitely.
Crazy Love.
Crazy Love.
Recreation and Horseshoe.
Yeah, right.
For sure. I want to see Silent Sinner tonight.
Yeah.
For sure as well. But I go and see them all. They're all good.
Yeah, of course.
It's all down to the timing. That's definitely all the Irish films. Crazy Love, Horseshoe, Recreation.
Yeah.
The Shorts program. Go and see the Shorts program, because you'll definitely get to see a variety of films as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure.
So, go to the cinema.
And now what we do is we turn back to Oldenburg and to Ingo.
Yeah, genau.
I think because this is an artist from here.
Oh, great.
And he has the same vibe, the same spirit than
of the festival.
And the Irish Festival.
Yeah. Also vielleicht einmal zurück aufs Deutsche. Wir schalten noch mal rüber zu Ingo Diers. Ingo, hast du noch ein paar Songs für uns vorbereitet? Bist du bereit, vielleicht noch was für uns zu spielen?
Was geht? Wie spät? Wer hat schon wieder an der Uhr gedreht? Tschüss, auf Wiedersehen bis die Tage. Wir sehen uns wieder, keine Frage. Welch ein Tag, welch eine Freude. Hab nicht das Gefühl, dass ich was vergeude. Ich hab meine Mutter verloren. Ich hab meine Mutter verloren. Ich hab eine Schraube locker meine Mutter verloren, yeah. Bin breit, Heiterkeit, da verliert man auch mal schnell die Eitelkeit. Mir ist warm, das Bier ist kühl, ich verliere sogleich mein Schamgefühl. Nicht so viel saufen, zu viel schiffen, zwischendurch auch mal eine Kiffe. Ich hab meine Mutter verloren. Ich hab meine Mutter verloren. Ich hab eine Schraube locker meine Mutter verloren. Solo! als wär's der letzte. Ich will Stoff und davon viel, meine Freunde und ich sind infantil. Ich hab meine Mutter verloren. Ich hab meine Mutter verloren. Yeah. Ich hab einen Schrauberlock und meine Mutter verloren. Dankeschön. So, einmal noch das letzte Lied. Das würde ich ganz gerne allen Filmemachern hier widmen. Allen Schauspielern, Torsten Neumann, Katrin Brinkmann und alle, die dafür gesorgt haben, dieses schöne Festival auf die Beine zu stellen. Vielen, vielen Dank. Danke für die Einladung. Das ist für euch. Ihr seid einzig, ihr seid artig, ihr seid wichtig, sogar nicht nichtig. Ihr seid witzig, ihr seid spritzig, ihr seid Spinner, aber auch Gewinner. Ihr seid charmant, suffisant, ihr seid markant, aber nicht verwandt. Ihr seid laut und ihr seid leise, jeder auf seine Art und Weise. Ihr seid alle gleich, aber nicht dieselben. Ihr habt das Zeug zu Helden, ihr habt das Zeug zu Helden. Ihr habt das Zeug zu Helden. Oh, ihr habt Stil, seid infantil, ihr seid sozial, erste Wahl. Ihr seid Kinder, ihr seid Väter, ihr seid Mütter, wenn nicht jetzt, dann später. Ihr habt Talent, ihr habt ne Band, ihr seid freundlich und kompetent. Ihr seid höflich und bescheiden, ihr habt Mut, das kann ich gut leiden. Ihr seid alle gleich, aber nicht dieselben. Ihr habt das Zeug zu Helden, ihr habt das Zeug zu Helden. Ihr seid gut zu Vögeln, naturbewusst. Ihr seid potent, habt immer Lust. Ihr seht gut aus, ein Augenschmaus. Das verdient hier und jetzt Applaus. Ihr seid alle gleich, aber nicht dieselben. Ihr habt das Zeug zu Helden. 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 Dankeschön.
I say thank you to Ingo? Yeah, of course. Please.
Wundervoll.
Hey, danke dir für die Einladung. Ja, danke Ingo für diese großartige Musikeinlage. Zweimal jetzt, 3 Lieder an diesem Tag. Großartig. So, und ich würde sagen, damit sind wir leider schon am Ende der Sendung, sagt zumindest meine Uhr. Ich könnte natürlich noch stundenlang mich weiter unterhalten, aber wir müssen langsam Schluss machen. Mehrere Hinweise habe ich noch für Sie. Wenn Sie wissen wollen, welche Filme wann und wo laufen, gucken Sie in das Programmheft rein oder auch auf der Website online vorbei. Da ist das komplette Programm aufgelistet. Und wenn es Sie interessiert, gucken Sie doch unbedingt mal in die irischen Filme oder auch gleich in Irland vorbei. Das ist natürlich auch eine großartige Idee. Und damit würde ich sagen, ich verabschiede mich. Wo sind Jon und Torsten? Wo ist Torsten? Gibt es noch Abschlussworte?
Von mir?
Ja.
Ich brauche eine Zigarette.
Eine Zigarette, dann verabschieden wir dich.
Nein, aber es war wunderbar.
Ja,
und, es ist ein ganz großes Vergnügen, so eine wilde Show aufzuziehen mit dir, Matteo. Danke dir.
Dankeschön.
Du machst das ziemlich grandios, muss ich sagen.
Danke. Ja, danke auch an dich, dass du hier warst, ich habe es ja schon erwähnt, trotz allem Termindruck, der sicherlich gerade da ist in der ganzen Zeit. Und thank you to Jon Jacobs again for being here.
Jon and Jon.
Yeah.
Like, I got some Irish blood in there somewhere, and I'm trying to get adopted by the family. I want to be part of the green wave.
Yeah, great. Okay, ja. Dann möchte ich mich von Ihnen verabschieden. Danke fürs Zusehen. Wir sehen uns dann im nächsten Jahr auf jeden Fall wieder. Bis dahin, machen Sie es gut.